Hello, my name is Lizzie. Each week I've been bringing along a different origami fold, and I've been doing that as a way of encouraging you to take some time out to focus your mind and make something beautiful out of paper. The simplest material, but has so many wonderful properties, and it's what our culture is based on. And folding it in a way isn't the most obvious thing to do with it, but it's a wonderful material and being able to hold those little folds, hold those little points of pressure, and they can be used to create beautiful and amazing patterns and shapes. So I've been bringing along a range, sometimes simple, sometimes complex, sometimes traditional, sometimes more recent origami designs. This week I thought I'd bring along a really beautiful, it's a traditional piece, a windmill, and these are very much symbols of kind of peace, and they work. They're a little piece of engineering, so I'm just going to demonstrate first of all. It works really well, doesn't it? So we will be folding the windmill part. If possible, if you've got something like a stick, I suppose you could use a straw or a lollipop stick, and if possible a drawing pin. I find the best thing rather than an actual pin, because you'll be able to get it in there really well. So I'm going to show you how to do your own. Depends what size you want to do. I quite like the little ones too. Flies very well. So they also make quite nice decorations, and I just thought it was something quite liberating. Obviously for blowing, this is something only that you should do in your own company. This is not to do with others, because blowing isn't a very good idea at this time. But I think I hope you're going to enjoy this. So these folds are all in support of my colleagues at UCLH, which is where I work, a hospital, and encouraging staff to take time out for themselves, for their self-care. I'm also doing these folds for absolutely anyone, so really supporting people during this time of isolation to bring community and to bring care, and as a nice little gentle challenge for you each week. And maybe this is something you could also share with friends and family. So I'm gonna get going, and I'll show you, maybe you could decorate your windmill as well. So yeah, here goes. Right, I'm going to move this over. And each time I'm showing you how to fold from just a normal A4 piece of paper. I'm actually about to take, I think this is maybe the 20th or 21st fold. So I have been doing a fold every week in lockdown, but I thought I should give myself a little break over summer at the moment. So I'm going to give myself a 2-week break. So there will be a little gap, but you can always check out the films that I've already done. There are lots of folds that you could do, or else look up other folds. There's lots on YouTube. And yeah, I'd love to see what you're doing as well, so do feel free to share. So I'm going to get a comfortable board, something that you can press on, get some paper. I'm going to show you each time how to fold just from normal A4 or letter paper, and this is quite a simple but a nice fold, so it's traditional. So here we go, and as I said, it's a symbol of peace as well. So I think for this one we're going to use half a piece of paper. You could even make it smaller again, so up to you, but all I'm doing is just halving a piece of paper. Nothing special about this, but what I'm doing is each time I'm really lining up the corners. Really take your time. You can do it. People say, oh, you know, they feel that they can't do it. It's actually because they're not giving themselves the time and patience and care. So if you give a good strong fold, it's very easy then to just do a little tiny tear. You should be able to rip it in half. Here we go. So I'm just going to use this half piece of paper. So again, take the corner and line it up. Each week I tend to show this, but I think it's a valuable skill, just how to make a fold from a piece of paper. Because the point is, you don't need special paper to do origami. Any paper's great, and actually decorating is really fun too. So we're going to get rid of this rectangle. So turn it over. Bring it back, and obviously this is something which children will be a lovely toy, but as I said, I think they make lovely decorations, and they are seen as beautiful, peaceful symbols, and that's something that we're all wishing for, isn't it, even if it's just at a personal level. There we go. So you've already got a diagonal fold. If you do the other diagonal fold, like so, lovely. Done the diagonals. Next, I think if you can fold it in half, that would be great. A bit of folding first, and then we'll do the creating the structure. So I've done a horizontal line. Next, you might as well do the other line as well. So it's going all ways. There we go. If you have a nail, use it. Don't worry if you don't. That's it, and you're letting out a little bit of pressure each time. So you're going to take the top and fold that to the middle line. So if you've made the chrysanthemum flower with me, which I used to make a kusudama medicine ball, then this is all the same sort of start to it. So you folded the top to the middle. I want you to do the same now at the bottom and bringing that up. Like so. There we go. So it's looking like that. Now our next step is we're going to take the top and fold that into the middle. So we're sort of making a little square out of all of this. And then I'll show you how to change it a little bit. There we go. And then the bottom, again, folding that up to that middle point. So it's almost like everything's tucked away. There's all sorts of interesting things inside there. And in a moment we'll open it up. So to open it up, if you open up the top, what I want you to do in a moment is you're going to add a diagonal line there. So open it up, and what I want you to do, see if I can show you to the camera, is to take this line and line it up there. Can you see? And again, take your time. Can you see I've lined it up, that line there, and it's adding this perfect little diagonal. Like so. And the same thing for this. So I'm going to take that line and line it up along horizontally there. I find it easier on a solid surface, as I'm doing. There we go. So you've got these diagonal lines, and it should mean that you should just be able to push it down, squash it down. Now this is actually another little traditional fold. You can make this into a house. Look, it looks like a house that's quite sweet. And actually, if you folded that back, you could get it to then stand up and decorate it. Anyway, I think with every piece of origami, there's different ways you could then change it. So we've done one half. We want to do the same thing on the other half. So opening it up. And again, we're going to do a diagonal line there and a diagonal line there. So open it up, and we're going to take this line here and line it up there. So I set up a Facebook group called Join the Fold, Origami to Beat Boredom, obviously and stress too. And I've also got a Twitter account, so at Dr. Lizzie Burns. So if you wanted to share any of the windmills or anything else that you folded from these videos, please do share. It's lovely to see what you've done. If you push that down, it should become this sort of shape. Like so. We're actually almost there now. There we go. Okay, take your time to make sure it's all right. Like so. There we go. So our final steps is to take the side. It's almost like I'm thinking now of the little house. Take the little roof and point that up. This one is already in the right position. Turning it round, and you want this one to come out like a little sail. And that is actually it. Now in a moment we'll have a go at mounting it so it goes on a stick so that then you can turn it. It might be quite nice to decorate it. I think it does make a bit of a difference, so I'm going to decorate mine. I encourage you as well to decorate too. Make it a little bit unique. So many ways you could decorate things. There's no real right or wrong, but I think I'm just going to do simple little lines. Just makes it a little bit more dynamic looking. When it spins around, you'll see then the little colours. There we go. Some primary colours mostly, with the addition of green. There we go. So our next step is to have a go at getting this on a stick. So to get it on a stick, I would thoroughly recommend a drawing pin, not a pin, because I've tried it with a pin and it's just too long, and it's also quite hard to push into something. So you could use a straw. If you have kind of a lollipop stick, something like that, I think that would be really good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to push the drawing pin from the front through the very middle, and I'm going to try pushing into this. Of course, do not let your finger get in the way. So if you do it on a board, I think that would be a good idea. So I'm going to show you how I'm going to do mine. So I might point it down at this point. Here goes. So first of all, getting that through the middle. Now actually, an important point is it looks very neat and tidy if it's there, but it'll probably be quite hard to spin around actually if you're holding that top surface in. Sorry, I'm going to just make sure that I'm getting it right through that point. There we go. I'll show you in a moment about opening that up. So it's right through the very middle point, as you can see. I've just pushed it through. And next I'm going to put it onto the lollipop stick. And as I said, don't get your fingers in the way. So I'm just going to push it down. Made a bit of a hole, not all the way through. And it may actually push through. There we go. Now, maybe don't have it all the way pushed in because it's not going to be able to spin around. Can you see? So I've got it just a little bit through there and a little bit of a gap because it needs to be free to be able to spin around. Can you see? Now at the moment it probably won't spin very well because this is trapping those top surfaces. So it looks quite nice, but it won't work that well. So first of all, I reckon untrap those little side bits. So it's actually free just to be against the inside surface. Don't let it trap these little sides there. There we go. So it won't look quite so neat. Can you see that's now inside there? Now the other thing that's worth doing, I think, is whilst it looks quite, again, it looks quite nice and neat and tidy if these are nice and flat, actually you want these little pockets to be pockets because they need to trap the air that you're blowing in. And as I said, the blowing is only to do by yourself, not with other people around, because we're not blowing near people, but we can enjoy this our special little pleasure by ourselves, can't we? So hopefully that should work. Can you see my little pockets? Let's have a go. I never quite know, but I guess you're blowing into so if you blow into the little pockets, then it will catch. And I've left that little gap, so this is nice and free. It's just inside there. And it's all a little gap there. So everything's free to move very easily. And hopefully you've made your own little windmill. You may, if you want to do a smaller one, bigger one, it's completely up to you. Decorate it in different ways. I hope that's worked for you. I hope you've enjoyed that. So I'll be back again it'll be a couple of weeks' time. But I hope that these videos have been helping you. And I'm trying not to be a hypocrite on my own self-care, so I am going to take a little break as well. Thank you very much. And also before then, I will have a live fold on Wednesday at 2. And again, a gap for 2 weeks, but then I'm back again as normal. So I hope that's helped. Thank you. Bye-bye.